What's up, my family? Hello. Hello, hello. It's a beautiful day. It's a Monday. You can hear the crickets. You can probably hear the birds. I'm out here in a beautiful field filled with nature. And the message that I want to get to you today, that I hope you listen to and you take to heart, is how safe you are. Most of the things that we listen to and that we receive information of will not be shedding you this type of information. Instead, you are being infused with fear everywhere you go. For me personally, I can't even go to the gym without just looking at these screens, and I'm just getting bombarded by this fear. It's to the point where I'm about to develop a workout plan at home so I don't even have to leave the house to go to the gym, because it's just bombardment with fear. There's so many good things on television, right? Like while you're warming up on whatever treadmill you're on, or like, doing whatever you want to do. But yet, what are you getting hit with? Fear. My family, I'm here to tell you, I have a background that was on the other side of life. I served a part of life that was hostile and aggressive and was fear. It was my own fear implementing out on my physical body and doing what I thought was right to stop something that really is all in our minds. And it's just, if we look at the duality in life, we really can't put a name on the good and the bad and the light and the dark and the evil and the, good and evil. Good, bad, light and dark, that's just duality. But one thing that is true is that right now it's the safest age to ever be alive. You can look the statistics up on law enforcement data websites. The FBI has statistics if you really want to get into that side of things. Like the real 3D of it all, just look at the statistics. Or we can look at the good things that are happening on the earth, like the huge cleanup projects that are happening around the world for the Mother Earth. Or the whole countries are banning 5G. Countries are coming together to rebuild the deserts, to plant trees across countries to rebuild the deserts. Countries are coming together to save the Amazon rainforest from the oil and the gold and the mining that is ripping apart the lungs of our beautiful planet. And there's people across this planet that are helping people heal. People are searching for better diets with less suffering. People are searching for the spiritual awakening within themselves. And people are starting to question the information that's told to them. My family, there is an awakening happening on this planet. There's information out there, and there is light and love that is bestowed upon you. And literally, all you have to do at night is to sit in a space by yourself and ask it and receive it to come in. It's that simple. No doors will be opened for you if we do not knock. You go to somebody's house and you stand on their porch and they know that you're coming and you don't knock, you're gonna miss everything, right? But all you gotta do is just dink, 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 and the door's like, hey, we've been waiting for you. How'd you get here? I didn't see you walk up. Glad you knocked. That's what life is. Being aware of the grace and the love that's bestowed upon us, inviting it in, calling it in, use whatever words and theology and names that you want. I'm not here to tell you your path to that particular situation. It's a concept I'm trying to have you understand. A simple concept. Simple but profound. The fears being bombarded to us at a rapid rate. Have you not noticed what's been happening in the past 10 years? And it's even getting kind of spooling up a little bit. But guess what's spooling up? Yeah, the fear spooling up, but the love spooling up. Because once again, in the duality, there is always balance. up until the point to where we understand that the center is how we escape the duality, and really we really find out all that we're looking for. So just to say it in like really the 3D terms, my family, turn the TV off unless it's something extremely educational. You know, documentaries, podcasts, you know, are big now. I'm actually going to be starting a podcast. I hope you guys are going to enjoy it, because I want to continue to feed you and have people come and conversate with me to feed the vibration that's going to uplift this planet. Turn off the radio. When we drive in our vehicles, drive in silence. I know it's a lot of people are like, oh, that's like my podcast time. And I listen to a lot of, like, you know, lectures and podcasts in my car too. But I've had a car for, I think I've had the car that I have now for like a year now. I've never turned the radio on. For about the first 6 months I got it, I drive in silence most of the time. It's a time in your life that you can be with yourself. We're all seeking for silence. We're all seeking for that space to think and get to know ourselves. And there's a perfect opportunity to do it. I mean, the average person probably drives at least an hour a day. That's an hour of time to just be with yourself and think. We don't always need to be bombarding the food into our brain, minds, and ears and touch and, you know, all this stuff. Turn off the information that is being put into here, because there's an infinite amount of information in here that we can access if we give it time and we give it space. So why not access the information in here? Because it's the universal information that's found inside of you. There's so much knowing inside of you. I don't care if you have a degree. I don't care what kind of job you work. I'm saying that you are a being that is loved, and there is so much knowledge inside of you if you give it access. You may not know how to build a house or build a car or fix a car, but the knowing of your own life is inside of you. And who cares about knowing all the other stuff? That comes second. The first of all is knowing how you should be living your life, who you should be spending time with, where to go left or right in the decisions throughout your day. That's the most important concept that we need to be picking up. And then, hey, let's go learn some other cool stuff. When I awakened to my inner knowledge about myself, my whole entire life changed. And I had so much ego to shovel through. It was like, oh my gosh, this is never gonna end. Oh, it's just pain. And it wasn't pain that was caused to me. It was the pain that I caused other people. I was a trail of destruction for 28 years of my life. I was just a whirlwind, a fire blazing across life, leaving a trail of destruction behind me, broken hearts and pain and suffering. But I was I was happy. I was nice. People never understood. But I was this like destructive force inside of myself because I was not aligned. But when I awakened up my knowledge to source, and the knowledge isn't the knowledge from the 3D world, okay? We have to understand that not the feeling that we feel is knowledge. Infinite amounts of knowledge. Try to describe a feeling, right? If we have a really an intellectual and intelligent and an intelligence, both intellect, coming together, that's quite a conversation. If we have we're shedding information from source and information from our ego, because intellect and intelligence, but when we portray this into a conversation, there's a lot of information there. Try to describe love. Try to describe grace. Try to describe fear. Try to describe being happy. We could talk about that all day long. And when we start to describe these emotions, we can learn so much about ourselves, because in that describing, we're actually going to learn how we correlate to that particular emotion. And then we learn a lot about ourselves, how we process life. So a feeling is information for you. And this is how our body responds to the information. We feed it fear, we feed it doubt, we feed it these low vibrational feelings, we are going to operate in a low vibrational sense of personality and being, and things are going to stick to us and we're going to get sick. That's a way to feed us and nourish us from the inside. And then we also have to do this, which I talk about in a lot of my videos. I just taught a class yesterday on a raw food class, pretty much the power of living foods, and I taught people how to sprout, and I had 9 people in my class, and throughout the class, it turned into food, and I had some questions at the end were extremely profound. People were like, I am struggling with this, I'm struggling with this, and I feel like eating right's gonna help me, and I'm like, it gets to the root cause of everything, yes, is our emotions. The self-worth and the self-reliance and the self-pity and not feeling like we're able to emit love into the universe. But you are, because the love's always there. Since birth, it's your birthright. And the farther we fall from that, the farther we become separated, and then the more fear has room to grow within us. I participated in the ultimate act of duality, the ultimate act of fear, and that's war. And coming back from war and understanding the path that I took and the consequences of my action on my internal self, and to understand what war really is and what the actions really take place on both sides. And I saw it all deeper, thank you to Mother Ayahuasca, helping me process these things. And coming back into the civilian world and being a total trail of destruction and an alcoholic and destroying my body and destroying all the relationships in my life and destroying everybody around me without them really even knowing it, because I wasn't living my truth. I was a big hypocrite liar because I was living from my ego. I was living from fear. I wasn't living from the innate consciousness within me that is pure divine love. And when I made the decision in my life to change, I shut all the fear out. I don't let it come into my life. It cannot penetrate me. I know what exists out there more than the average person. I'll tell you the truth on some stuff that you think is true, and it'll shatter your world, but that's not my place. Because I also respect what's out there, so I'm not going to get into details about that kind of stuff. But the amount of lies that are being fed to the average person blows my mind, and I'm not here to tell you that's not true. This is the real truth, because because this is what really happens behind the curtain. Because that there's no healing in that. That almost will just piss you off and send you, the pendulum swinging again. What I'm trying to say is, let's find our center in what is being told to us. Let's filter it with rationality and understanding and think deeper. An object is not good or bad. It is neutral. Everything in life is neutral, but we were given something called choice, which is the program, it runs this reality, right? Freedom of choice. We can choose this, we can choose this. No one's gonna stop you doing it. The dice got thrown, dice ain't stopping. There's nothing in the way to stop the dice. Our Creator was like, you got free will, my family. Do with it what you want. Woo, I don't know where all that came from. I got a green face right now. I did my wheatgrass shot this morning, so I covered my face in it. If you guys see green face, a lot just came out, a lot more than I kind of thought was going to come out. Didn't really expect to go down, some of that stuff there. But so what I'm trying to tell you is I'm a walking, talking example of, I understand what it's like to be in fear. And I built my physicality up around that fear. I was a force to be reckoned with. If you knew me a couple years ago, like I built my life up around, I don't care what comes at me, they're gonna get it. And guess who got it? I got my butt kicked by the universe. It came in. Been training how to fight since I was like 16 years old. I got a right hook from the universe out of love and divine consciousness, and it knocked me out cold. And it was the best sleep I've ever had in my life. And when I woke up, I was so grateful to be alive and for the life that was given me. And then all the lies started to purge out of my being and my body started to heal. And I was able to live the truth. Now the things that I'm saying to you are my truth. And it flows out of me so cleanly. I don't even have to think to speak anymore to anyone. I never have to watch what I say or who did I, it's all truth to the best of my ability. And then there's a balance of, like some people can only handle so much truth about what they're asking you. So it's a whole other thing of navigating, and blunt truth isn't always, the thing, oh, how do you feel about this? Or how do you think, this is? And you got to like coax people a particular way. You got to pick them up when they're starting to fall. But my personal testimony for this life, I'm blunt and I'm honest, and I'm so blunt and honest sometimes, people are like, oh, I don't want to know your dirty laundry. And I'm like, yo, guess what? It ain't dirty anymore. It just was my choices and my experience, and I got nothing to hide. And I'm going to make a testimony. The more that I make these videos, my family, it's so healing for me. I hope you understand this, This is my way to reach the world. I'm not a talker. Like, I talked yesterday more than I have in like a month in my class. But I have so much to say because I have so much going on up in here. My mind's a monster. I spend my life reeling it in and understanding it and compartmentalizing it and understanding my own consciousness. And I'm still processing my ayahuasca ceremonies that were a year ago. I have so much going on in here. But it's very healing for me to talk and get my story out there because it breaks down a lot of social barriers that I constructed within my own self from my previous self from fear. Because I used to not talk to anybody. If I didn't know you, if I didn't grow up with you, I wanted nothing to do with you because I didn't trust you. All fear. Now I've met some of the greatest people in my life like all the time. I'm like, yo, I just met you, but hey man, I trust you because I'm guided by this. I've met some people in the past like recent years, they're the closest people in my life and I trust them because I know them. I truly know them. You have some conversations, I've had some conversations with people so deep that when I'm done, I gotta like sit down and then you really get to know a person. I don't waste time on the politics and the sports and the holidays and the weather. People talk about the weather. The weather's weather. We talk about it. Sports, they're cool, whatever, but like, this is your life. I'm not talking bad about sports. I'm just saying. The conversations I have, everything that I want to talk about is to pick myself up and pick you up. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about life. Let's talk about love. Let's talk about what these inner workings are inside of us. Let's talk about what consciousness it is in divine light, how we understand our past traumas and what you experienced and what you learned from it. Maybe I can pick something up from you. This is what I went through. This is what I did. This is what I realized. Man. A lot of times, I was an alcoholic for like 10 years. A destruction alcoholic. I would drink and I used to slam my head on the table to knock myself out. Literally, I would slam a bottle of whiskey back, slam my head on the table till I would knock myself out. Because that's the amount of pain that was going on inside of me. But that journey that I went through on all that, and to come out the other side and to be able to look back on it not as good and not as bad, but something I'm so blessed to have experienced, that in itself is a blessing to me. I'm so thankful for my life and where I am. So thankful. And that was all from fear. This is what I'm trying to tell you. I'm going to get back to where I started. Fear destroys us. Fear is not information. If the information that is coming to you makes you fearful, it's not coming from the right vibration. It's all a program. And I don't want to be like the tinfoil hat guy, but I'm telling you, it's all for a reason. Let's see through it, right? Let's come together. They don't want this. This is not wanted. Us coming together, realizing we're family. It's not wanted. But it's the truth, and it's how this planet will heal, is us coming together. We are safe when we unite and we're together under the right vibration. Understand that. My family, thank you so much for listening to me and liking my channel and giving me your time. Please subscribe and leave me a comment. You know, I'm getting this channel up and going, and I really appreciate it very much. So don't live in the fear, live in the love. Look up at the sun. It will shed love upon you. I hope you have a great day. This is Michael with Find Your Light. I bid you good well, and take care of yourself, because taking care of yourself is taking care of the world. My family, have a good day.